Ready?
Bonjour, Anin, Minogajib. Welcome everybody to the Tribal Council meeting this morning. As always, we start out with our invocation by our spiritual advisor, Jean Goodsky. Miigwech, Jean, thank you. With that, I'll call a meeting to order. Roll call. Here.
Here. Here.
Here.
Okay, next we have approval of the agenda. Any additions or deletions to the agenda?
We have one addition. We have a resolution establishing the Citizens Care Act.
Put that under you, Randy?
Yes.
Where do you want to put that at?
Under Randy?
Under Randy? I mean, but, towards the end?
Yeah.
At the end.
Anything else?
I think that what I would like to do is not this meeting, because I don't think we'll be prepared for it, but maybe for the next meeting, is to look at live streaming the ballot counts for our band members so they can participate. That's just a thought,
Like
a suggestion that we should look at.
Okay.
So I thought I'd just bring that up.
Okay, we can look at that. Okay, anything else? If not, I'll call for a motion to approve. Sure. Jean wants to discuss the powwow. Oh, come on in, Adrian. Mm-hmm. Give them the microphone. Hang on, Jean, we're going to put you on microphone, okay? Will it reach? Hold it, Randy. You got the wrong one. Hold on, we're making some technical adjustments. Hi, Adrian. Hi, how are you? Good, how are you? Nice to see you. That's for recording with Go. Randy's setting you up with the one that's like this. You can put that more towards you. Just kind of speak, yeah. There you go. There you don't have to hold it.
Discourage anything here. Feel uncomfortable having this full gathering and then
I know. Mm-hmm.
and it's
I think July 21st it was announced. I think it was announced yesterday, July 21st. The 21st of July. I know that we had a discussion with Jean and we had mentioned, and then I contacted Adrian about having a smaller scale powwow. And I know she was in contact with, I believe it was Linda Bardo, because when we had the issue with regards to the powwows, we had somewhat of a small committee developed where it was Adrian, Chaz, Muriel, and Tracy, and I can't remember who else was on there.
Linda.
Ashley? Was
Linda.
Ashley in there?
no, she wasn't. Yeah, and then Teresa.
Oh, Linda and Teresa Morrison. So whenever powwows are going to be organized, that would be our group that would do
For
the,
on the Nett Lake side, yeah.
on the Nett Lake side, and then
And then
Muriel and Tracy for the Vermilion side.
Yes.
And I know that after I talked to Adrian, I did talk to Tracy Dagan in Vermilion, and they've decided not to have the Vermilion powwow this year. That was their decision for Vermilion, those two, but we wanted a smaller scaled powwow where we don't want large gatherings amidst this COVID pandemic, and that we wouldn't be doing any food or payouts or anything like that. It would be a very traditional powwow. So that's kind of where we contacted Adrian, and then we left it from there. So, you know, we agree there should be a powwow, but like Adrian, she and I agree, because we do have a lot of high-risk people that have underlying conditions, and Adrian is one of them, and elders are one of them, and are a lot of them. A lot of the people that are passing are elderly. So we want to ensure that they're safe, but practice safe distancing and doing what we can, but still initiating that ceremony and that powwow. So I know Adrian started working on it with her group, so that's kind of where it's at.
You know, I think that, you know, myself too, I feel the same way, is that, you know, we need to be safe. I'd rather be safe than sorry. You know, and I agree that we do need to have the powwow, but it needs to be small. Just for the safety of our community, of our band members, of our elders, of our kids. You know, I was at the gathering down here when they had the Csbg powwow. The drummers were down there singing. You know, and me, my kids and Christina came down, and we listened in on the afternoon session, and then we went down for the evening session. You know, listening to them guys drum and sing, and there's people dancing. You know, we danced. You know, and it was pretty small. You know, and we brought a dish down. And, you know, people were eating, you know, at dinner time, and, you know, we didn't have that many people there, but, you know, some people did show up. You know, and I think that eventually, you know, yeah, we're gonna have to have a small powwow eventually, but we gotta find a way to try to keep people safe, if you will. One way that I can think of is that if we have one drum come in, set it up, let the same singers sing around that drum, then put in another drum, then another one. Have them kind of go around. So basically, it's not different singers intermixing with each other. So it's the same singers that, you know, from the community that are you know, hey, you know, they're not sick, so they can sing together. But that's going to be down the road. You know what I mean? That's going to be, you know. We're still waiting to wait on what happens with this rioting, you know, that's been going on. You know, are people going to get sick, and is the numbers going to spike, go up? You know, we got to wait and see what happens.
I think too, the other question as a coordinator and planning of this, what are the, like, am I going to have somebody do like Fortune Betas, do temperatures when they come in? Police them and tell them where they can and can't sit. Kind of hard for me to do that when before everything was, you know, freely.
Yeah.
You know, never had anything like this before, right? Other than the night when the smallpox came through back in the day. Can't imagine what they went through.
Yeah.
These powwows are a great thing that keeps our culture going. Not all of us, even our relatives, our relations here, take part in this, but there's a select few in every community. Every community is like that. To have this shut down again, me personally, I wouldn't mind. I'd rather we went to fall pow. This way we have this time to chew on this, what we're going through, to hopefully make it better for the fall pow. Gives them more time. Some things could crop up. Then what? In Nett Lake, has always been, I guess you could say, a leader as far as tradition and culture has been concerned. But is this are we going to be able to sustain that? Granted, there's only a few of us that partake in these things. It keeps it strong, it keeps it going. Some of us know a little more than others. Some of them are learning. And those are the ones that we got to focus on, the ones that are learning, are willing to learn, because they're going to see, oh, I don't want to do this then, if it's going to go like that. Be a little political too. But people being people, I think, let them know, be straight with them, let them know what's coming down the road, the possibilities, and they can make their choices that way. And more often than not, I'll bet you they'll come home, they'll come to this one. Because everybody's shutting down, or is shutting down their festivities. Every festival is being shut down on the range. And where do you go? Maybe this one will be the first one to open up.
Linda and I picked the date of July 10th to possibly do just the ceremonies and the things that we need to do to, you know, what he talked about. It's small, and look forward to October powwow. Because we don't know, we don't know what's gonna be, you know, and I figure that when I said July 10th, when I said that, I thought maybe that further, well, in between that time and July 10th, we'd kind of know where this COVID is going, you know, but then again, that's up in the air too, so.
Been extremely lucky up here. Very lucky. We should be very grateful for that, because we don't have the social issues that many of these other communities have. Look at the Twin- Holy cow.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta have armed guards going around with me. I'm sure some of you guys have seen that too, walking around. Where are we going?
And Adrian, I know that you mentioned a date, so if you want to stick with that and do, you know, that's up to you guys, how you want to do the powwows. Any other comments?
I think the other thing too is that, eventually, when we do have our powwow, it's gonna have to be local, strictly locals only. Nobody from outside can come in because we don't know what they're bringing in. They could be bringing in that virus, if they could have the virus, they could be dormant. Somebody that could come into this community could have that virus. Bring that virus in here, one of us gets it, pretty soon it starts spreading out to everybody else, and by the time we catch it, 2 or 3 days later, how many more will be infected? And I would hate to see anybody get that virus, especially in our community now. I mean, we got a lot of people here that are vulnerable.
I know in Vermilion, one of our band members has had the virus. She's okay now, but it's a really simple thing to catch. She showed no symptoms. She wasn't have a fever. She didn't have a cough. She just lost the taste, and that because she was reading the
Symptoms?
the symptoms. That's why she went to the doctor, and they tested her, and she was tested positive. And she was quarantined, and this whole process. She had spent some time on the reservation with her family, and so we're kind of waiting and wondering what's going on. It's there, it's here. It's a tough one, and I mean, I think about things like Jean, Jerome, Adrian, myself, Shane. And I think last meal count we had was almost 100 and some people that are getting served meals by elder meals. And that's not counting the people that are diabetic, people that are fighting cancer, people that are fighting other autoimmune diseases. Our numbers are high, really high. I never really thought about it until I start actually paying attention to listening to some of the medical reports and stuff, and our numbers are really high. And if it was to get a hold of really good here, I'm thinking it would really hurt. I'm okay with the powwows. I really want the powwows here. I do want the powwows here. I guess I'm on the same boat as Shane. I think we should try to keep them local. With our Vermilion people and our Nett Lake people to get together to have a powwow, and to have the ceremonies. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that as long as we keep it local.
Yeah, but the problem I have with that is, like, for people, in the planning this, how are we gonna, I know some of our band members, but I don't know, there's a few of them that come up from the cities and, Fond du Lac. So I wouldn't know how to police that. You know, I wouldn't know how to, if I don't recognize them and I don't know, I wouldn't know if they were a band member or not. And to keep it local, there are gonna be people that, when they hear that we're gonna have one, they're gonna, you know, they'll come. And I'm not gonna be the one to, you know, say, well, you know, you can't, it's only local, it's only community members. Turn them away.
Yeah, that's a good point that you brought up. That was my mistake, forgetting about that aspect, is that, you know, when we do have a powwow, we're going to have band members from either Virginia, Twin Cities, Bemidji, everywhere else, and they're going to want to come home and participate. You know, and we got to add that into there, and then how can we best hold a powwow in that regards while trying to keep everybody safe? You know, do we limit the number of people that can come in at a certain time? Okay, the afternoon session, first 50 people can come in, but you got to practice social distancing. Okay, now you're done with that. Now you guys can go. Now the other 50 can come in for the evening session and participate. Something, we got to think of something. Try to keep all ourselves safe, if you will. And at the same time, letting them enjoy a powwow as well.
That was a good option.
Why don't you guys make some masks for people that are coming from other places? Wear follow. Make sure they wear. I have a bottle of hand sanitizer there too. Safety procedures you can do, you know. Because I work at Subway, we have a lot of safety procedures that we do because we are serving food to the public. So there's no way I can try to check that or anything like that. So a lot of procedures we go through, we wash our hands, we wear a mask.
I think Ray's right too, that, you know, a lot of places are requiring masks be worn. That might be something that we want to do. And maybe what we can do, Adrian, is coordinate maybe a Zoom meeting where we're not all together with regards to, and getting Terry Morrison, our public health gal, involved with the sanitizer. We do have a lot of masks available that have been made by various women and people. And so, you know, maybe doing that, and, you know, Shane actually brought up a good idea too. How many people do we want? Because we don't know, it might be raining that day, and maybe we're going to be inside, so we need to kind of anticipate that. So maybe if we could sit down and do a planning meeting, would that be helpful for you?
Yeah, because I would like to know the guidelines I would have to follow
Okay.
from the council.
Okay.
I'd like
We'll get that set up with Terry and with yourself and Jean and and so we will get that taken care of, and we'll set it up as soon as we can. How's that?
Okay, yeah.
So we can have some type of powwow. Okay?
You know, I think in order for this to go, planning the route we're taking, the more support she has, because you have to have a strong foundation to accomplish these things. I know that from life, you know.
Okay.
And all these things can fall into place in its own time, but you gotta have support. The powwow committee has to have support from the council to say that we're trying, well, maybe we'll do this, maybe we'll do it, maybe, As long as we don't put too many maybes in there, they'll just.
No, I think it needs to be kind of structured in a
Streamline,
manner.
yeah, streamlined as best you
Yeah,
can.
as-
Because this is the best thing that we're trying
Yeah,
right now. It might not go over well with everybody,
right.
but for the most part, collectively, it can be done. That's the way people are,
Okay,
you know?
we'll get that set up. We'll get that taken care of. Good, thank you. Miigwech, miigwech for coming.
Where's the food? Heck, Kat, where's the food?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I don't think we did the minutes yet, did we? We didn't do the agenda either, so.
No, we didn't.
Okay. Miigwech, Jean? Okay. Do we have any other additions? What?
His band are Christian, they believe in the Christian. And he's the only one, him and about 40% are traditional. They overrun him. And he's really mad because they canceled out their powwow. But he's pretty mad about that. There were sitting ducks right out in the open, vulnerable. But that's all I have to say.
I'll call you in, this evening.
Okay.
I just wrote you a note. I will call you this evening.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, Miguel.
Miigwech.
Yeah.
Do we have a motion to approve the agenda with those additions?
Move.
Moved by Travis. Is there a second? Second by Chief. Oh, sorry, Dave. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Silent? Motion carried. Minutes from June 3rd. Miigwech, Jean. Adrian and Jerome from Miigwech. Minutes from the meeting held June 3rd at Nett Lake.
Just now reading them.
Yeah, I know. Will do, Jean. We're going to include you in our meetings, too. We'll let you know as soon as possible. Any questions on the minutes?
I have a question on page 3.
Okay.
The the big paragraph towards the bottom, and it says discussion on the election boards. Did we, how did it go? Did they have any problems or issues with the urban office in Duluth or the Twin Cities?
Dave, have you heard anything on the election boards?
Well, they got down there okay. We had 4 of them down at the urban office and 4 down at the Minneapolis urban office. And Wendy sent a email. I'm not sure who all got it, but she said that she was really proud of the way that the Duluth election went, and she was really said that they really did a good job. The voter turnout was a little low, but that might have just been from no travel, maybe, who knows, but maybe at this next election we'll get a little bit more people there. But other than that, I know there was a few problems, and those were sent to Gary, and we're going to have those addressed by the next election. So.
Okay, that's all I have.
Okay. If no other questions or comments on the minutes, we have do we have a motion to approve the June 3rd, 2020 meeting minutes?
I'll move.
Moved by David. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Travis. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Silent. Motion carried. Introduction of new staff. I don't think we have any, do we? No new staff. Okay. Next, we have the consent agenda. That is first adopted resolution number 97-2020, designating the MCT Tribal Court of Appeals as the appellate body that will hear any appeals for the upcoming elections. Second is approve the Bois Forte Tribal Government COVID-19 Tribal Offices Preparedness Plan. Third is approve the amendment to the Consolidated Treatment Fund - Tribal Admin Allowance. Fourth is to sole source request to purchase software support for the clinic in the amount of $5,184. Any questions on the consent agenda? If not, I'll call for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Move.
Moved by Travis,
Second.
seconded by Dave. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Silent? Motion carried. Next, we have Travis Vake with the, with 3 things on the agenda. Good morning, Travis.
Good morning. All right, good morning. So on the agenda, under myself, there are 2 sole source requests that deal with the ANA grant that we currently have. It's also called the iLead grant. It's a 3-year grant that started in 2018. However, in 2018, they had trouble finding a Native youth counselor, and so there was a carryover opportunity for us, but we had to justify the funding for that carryover. So working with Sydney, who is our grant specialist, we were able to line up an additional training for myself, Leanne, Bridget, and then some people from the Nett Lake School 2142. And so we are going to have an additional training and then also purchase some equipment to use as incentives for students to participate in the program and also help them with the distance learning.
Oh, Okay, so your first sole source request for A&A grant carryover budget items with the U of M Institute on community integration to provide training on expanding the circle program is to okay the carryover amount for the expanding the circle proposal for the training?
Yep. So that would be the $7,135, and then an additional $600 for food and beverages. So $7,735 total for the training, and it's a 2-day training.
2-day training? Do you know how many attendees you're gonna have approximately?
12,
Okay,
up to 12.
So the grantors are okay with this?
Cindy's,
Yes, yep, it's fully paid for already. We just have to justify it. We already have the money for the grant. We just have to justify what we're using the money for.
Okay.
any other questions for Travis on the first sole source request? If not, I'll call for a motion to approve for the sole source request for A&A grant carryover in the amount of $7,735 for training on the expanding the circle program.
Move.
Moved by Travis, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Shane, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, silent, motion carried. Okay, next we have a sole source request for A&A grant carryover budget items for apple.com for the purchase of iPads, smart keyboards, AirPods, and smart covers. And these are what you were calling the incentives for the kids?
Yeah, so these are approved by the grant specialist incentives that we're using. We're actually gonna, Bridget, our Native Youth Counselor, is actually going to restart with students next month
Okay,
to get them going and introduced into the curriculum, where then they can start running off with it when school starts up again in the fall. And in order to get participants to participate in that, we felt like an incentive was needed because it's the summer months.
oh,
And so, as you see in front of you, there are some iPads and keyboards and AirPods, which apparently are the new cool thing. So,
okay. How many students are you looking for?
so I think Bridget is looking for, well, there's 3 different age categories that we're working
Oh.
with, because it's really grades 5 through 12.
Oh, okay,
And so we break it down as like 5th and 6th grade, 7th and 8th grade, and then high school.
okay,
And so the iPads, would be by age category
oh, I gotcha. Okay,
that we would incentivize. And then Bridget would break down her curriculum also by age. So she
Okay.
would meet with 5th and 6th grade in one session, 7th and 8th grade, 9th and 10th, and then 11th and 12th.
okay. And that is in the amount of $8,700.
Yep.
Okay, any questions?
Randy, did he run this by you? Because I know that when people make a purchase for like these iPad stuff, they'd have to run it by IT for approval or whatever?
Yeah, we did research on the cost of the equipment for Travis.
Okay.
We are on the Travis Vake second sole source request. Okay, any other questions? If not, I'll call for a motion to approve the sole source request for A&A grant carryover in the amount of $8,700 for the purchase of iPads, smart keyboards, AirPods, and smart covers.
Move.
Moved by Travis, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Dave, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Silent? Motion carried. Okay,
All right, thank you.
nope, next you have the energy assistance.
Oh, yeah, I do. For Tracy, the energy
You're not leaving that
assistance.
early, Travis.
So the CSBG supplemental funding for the energy assistance, all it needs is council approval. All the documents have been submitted and accepted by the OEO, and working with Andy Grewell And so all we need is council approval to submit
Okay.
it.
And was this with the additional COVID money?
Yes, this was supplemental funding from the CARES Act.
Okay. What dollar amount was that? Is that on here? Thought it was kind of a nice little chunk of money.
Yeah, I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but I think it was in the 20,000
I was
some,
gonna say, I thought it was over
27,000 or something like that.
$20,000, yeah, so that'll help out a lot with people with, and you don't need a utility cutoff for that. You just have to document that you're either behind in your utilities, so it's to help out with the COVID, so I think Tracy did a good job on this proposal here, so you just need our approval for it. Do we have a motion to approve the FY 2021 Energy Assistance Program grant regarding the COVID funding? Moved by Dave, second by Chief. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, silent, motion carried. Good job. Thank you,
All right,
Travis.
thanks, everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Ooh, this looks like fun. Next, we have Terry Morrison with the, and Ashley Goodsky with the Elder Radio Free Bingo Program. Oh, man, I gotta sneeze. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so we've been trying to come up with some different ideas of stuff to help the elders not be so bored at home. So we have a little committee, and we came up with bingo, and we were trying to figure out how to make it safe. So we're gonna try it in coordination with KBFT. George is on our committee. So what we're asking is, I think, two things: the ability to have the bingo, and then the ability to use the radio station for it.
Okay. I think it's a great idea. You know, I know that we're trying to keep our elders protected and stay at home, and it gets boring after a while. So I think this is an excellent idea. It's a good, really good idea. When I mentioned it to some of the other tribal leaders, they thought it was an excellent idea also. So they might be copying us, but that's okay.
Okay. So our plan is to buy an electronic version, so we can print out the cards, and then each would have its own ID number. So then if they have a bingo, they would call the radio station with their ID number. That way we can check it on the computer whether it's a good bingo or not without actually seeing the card.
Nice. Excellent way to collaborate with our KBFT too. George is over there with his thumbs up. I'll read the resolution if you don't mind.
Okay.
Whereas the coronavirus or COVID-19, a serious respiratory illness that spreads from person to person, has been declared a pandemic by the World Health Organization, and approximately 30,000 active cases of the virus have been identified in Minnesota. And whereas the CDC advises that COVID-19 poses a higher risk to elders and persons with underlying health conditions, and that extra social distancing precautions should be implemented to prevent these high-risk populations from contacting the virus. And whereas as a result of the heightened social distancing measures recommended for vulnerable populations, elders are more prone to loneliness, depression, and social isolation, which can lead to negative mental and physical health outcomes. And whereas to boost morale for elder band members and mitigate the effects of social isolation, the band desires to establish opportunities for elders to be entertained and socially connected while adhering to social distancing protocols. And whereas in furtherance of this goal, Bois Forte Health and Human Services has established the Elder Radio Free Bingo Program, which allows elders to participate in free bingo games broadcasted by KBFT radio while remaining in their homes and adhering to social distancing protocols. Whereas RTC finds that the Elder Radio Free Bingo will promote the health, well-being, and general welfare of the band, and more particularly its elders, hold it, went too fast. And now therefore be it resolved that the RTC approves the Elder Radio Free Bingo Program and the rules governing the program attached hereto as Exhibit A, and be it further resolved that the RTC designates Bois Forte Health and Human Services as the lead agency responsible for administrating Elder Radio Free Bingo in coordination with KBFT, Bois Forte Tribal Community Radio, and be it further and finally resolved that subject to applicable grant limitations and funding amounts, the RTC authorizes Bois Forte Health and Human Services to purchase the necessary materials to publicize and conduct Elder Radio Free Bingo. Do we have a motion to approve that resolution as read?
I'll move.
Moved by Dave. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Chief. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Silent? Motion granted. Oh, awesome job.
Thank you.
Way to collaborate. Good job, everybody. I'm excited for them.
It should be fun.
Yes, give us an update how it goes. I would play if I could. Terry, what kind of prizes are you going to have?
Harry.
Oh, do gift cards?
So I didn't even tell you who we're offering it to. So for now, we're going to offer to all band members in the state of Minnesota, and then they'd have to play either on the app, and we have it figured out for the delay,
Okay.
because there's about a 7-second delay, and then we're going to offer it to all elders that live on the reservation.
Okay.
So,
And then we're working on an 800 number for the radio station for people to call, so it's not at no cost to them to call the radio station at all.
Oh,
Or even like if they need to listen from their cell phones from down in the
Great.
cities, they can call that 800 number and listen in.
great. Can you get the information out to the urban offices too?
yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Wonderful. Great job. Yay. So proud of you guys. Great.
Good job, ladies.
Good job, ladies and George.
And George.
And the radio station. Woohoo. Okay, next we do have the infamous George Strong.
Geo.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
What I have here is the second part of the contract that was approved last, I believe was in early May, for the Native Americana podcast series. And this is for the host, Keith Sicola. And we finished up the first episodes 1 through 30.
Okay.
And this will continue our work. And after this, we'll evaluate where we're at with it, whether we're, there's some issues right now that we're having as far as using the right platform
Oh, okay.
to get as many viewers as we can, but we're working through that. I think what we're going to do with Darren, my illustrious communications guy, I think we'll pay ourselves to learn a little bit more rather than bring in
Okay.
consultants or something like that. So we'll invest in Darren, and we'll get the right platform set and increase our numbers. Right now they're pretty good. I think we're getting right around, the most was a music couple from the Iron Range, Sharon Rowbottom and Dan Boyer. They brought in about 1,200 views. So that's, I don't know, pretty impressive, I guess.
Yeah, it is.
In comparison to the others, I think we're averaging right around 400 to 700
It's
per
still good.
episode. So, and then some platforms are better than others.
Yep.
Facebook is kind of proven to be the go-to one for us, but all in all, we brought in, just to let you know what's happening with this, the first series 1 through 30 is complete. The reason why we came about that was because we're launching a hour-long long format show that we're hoping Native Voice 1 will pick up, and then we'll be able to distribute it nationally over there. I'm trying to remember how many stations they have. I think they got like 400 some stations across the land. So this all ties in together, and it's all part of a kind of a package.
Okay.
But yeah, that's this second half is what I'm here to get approved.
Very exciting.
Yeah, it's been a project. It's been fun.
That's good. That's good. Any questions? Okay, if not, I'll call for a motion to approve the contract with Keith Secola for Native Americana Audio Cafe podcast and host writer, and that is in the amount of $6,000.
Icona,
What?
Icona. I move.
Okay.
Yep.
Motion to approve made by Shane, seconded by Chief. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, silent, motion carried.
Okay.
Great job, you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Good job, Darren.
Yep.
Randy, you're up.
Oh. Okay, Randy.
What I have before you is a resolution establishing the Citizens Care Act for the reservation. What this program's intention is to set some set-aside money whereby band members 18 years of age or older can apply for Corona relief funding. I believe it's established, or our intentions are to provide funding up to $1,000 per band member.
Was that per band member or per household?
Per
band
adult.
member.
Per adult.
18 years of age
Per
or
adult.
older.
Went up to
Yep.
What this is on, I believe it was Monday that we received, we were notified that we received our other 40% of funding from the $8 billion stimulus package that was set aside for tribes. Out of that funding, we did receive $3.5 million from the 40%. And the council had discussed having a COVID kind of relief fund developed for tribal adults out of this fund to help them with loss of wages, increased utility costs, increased grocery costs, whatever, because we know it's such a hard time right now. And so initially the tribe had decided, because that was with our first level of funding that we received, we came up with the amount of $500 at that time. Now, since the Corona Relief Fund has come through with the second wave of funding, and it has to be related to Corona relief or coronavirus issues. And so basically we upped that amount to $1,000 on Monday. And what we're doing now is we are going to be having an application process, very simplified, but we need this resolution in place because when the U.S. Treasury, and if the U.S. Treasury comes and tries to audit the money that they sent out, this resolution will cover exactly what we're going to do with the funding and how we're going to implement it. We're also going to be looking for a individual to help. We're going to employ an individual for like a term position to help get this, gather the information and implement this program. So we'll be looking for another worker part-time for this to do this coronavirus relief fund. And I can read, this resolution is really long, but I'll read the important parts of it. In response to the negative economic and health impacts of COVID-19, the federal government adopted the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security, the CARES Act, which provides economic relief to individuals, businesses, and governments under Section 5001 of the Act, including $8 billion, which is allocated for tribal governments under the Coronavirus Relief Fund. And the CARES Act and guidance from the U.S. Department of Treasury provide that the band may use its fund allocation to cover costs that are, number one, necessary expenditures incurred due to COVID-19 public health emergency, number two, not accounted for in tribal government's most recently approved budget, and number three, incurred between March 1st, 2020 and December 30, 2020. And so the band is expressly authorized under the Treasury Department's to use fund payments to provide emergency financial assistance to members who have suffered a loss of income or have incurred unforeseen financial costs as a result of the COVID-19 public health emergency. So as a result of the COVID-19 public emergency, band members both on and off reservation have suffered extreme financial hardships, including loss of their income or the income of family members upon which they rely due to layoffs and furloughs, reduced hours, salary reductions, the need to care for dependents as a result of school closures, or the need to quarantine, isolate, or take other measures in compliance with COVID-19 related public health measures. They've also experienced increased or unforeseen emergency financial costs that contribute to ongoing financial hardship, including medical costs, prescription drug costs, food costs, due to the increased retail costs, additional food costs associated with school or daycare closures, costs associated with food delivery or curbside pickup, transportation costs, childcare costs, adult or elder care costs, costs to facilitate remote work or distance learning, costs of personal protective equipment, funeral or burial costs, costs of cleaning, disinfecting products or equipment, costs associated with social distancing and complying with federal, state, and tribal guidelines for the mitigation of the spread of COVID-19, and other costs to meet emergency individual or family needs due to COVID-19. So basically, we're trying to cover all the bases, and we can't have this can't be something that was approved in our budget or anything. So the band decided the tribal council decided to get this fund, we are providing services to band members, in the urban areas with the masks and the hand sanitizer, but we know we need to do more. So what this is now is getting money back to the adult members of the band, about which there's over 2,700, I believe, tribal members. And so we will be using a majority of the funds for our tribal members to apply for the $1,000 financial hardship fund. So with that said, this resolution covers that. We do need a motion to approve this resolution in order to implement that program. Council members, do you want to make any other comments before I call for a motion?
Will this be on our website?
Yes.
Okay.
When will it happen is probably going to be one of the questions we're going to have. As soon as we can get the application developed, it will be an easy one-page. We're trying to make it as simple as possible. We will try to get someone in the position as soon as possible, and then because with our accounting department and with everything, it's getting the applications mailed or available online, and then also processing for the checks. So that's what this individual will do. We'll get that going as soon as we can after the meeting today, and we hope to get the program implemented as soon as possible.
I have a question now. Let's say a band member accesses the program and it's deemed that they're eligible for up to maybe $500. So they got $500 from the program, then maybe a couple months down the road, they need more assistance. They would be able to apply for the other 500, correct?
Actually, what it is they can apply for the full 1,000 right up front.
Right up front, okay, all right,
Basically, we're not going to be requiring any documentation.
okay.
Like if you're saying you're having hardship with, how are you going to document you're having a hard time with groceries? Because you've got people in your house that aren't working anymore, or your utility bills have increased, because mine have since people have been home. So I mean, it's really hard to do that. So with the application process, the applicant will be signing that, verifying, I believe, that they have, what they're signing is true knowledge.
Of one or more of the
Yeah,
criteria.
but it's only a one-time application.
Per adult.
Per adult.
Yeah.
Okay? But I want to commend the council for that, because, we really are trying to not hide the money. We're trying to utilize it for the band members and families that are suffering from this COVID-19. It's a terrible situation, and so we really think that this will be very helpful for each adult member anyway, to help them.
We will put out a statement when this is ready?
Yes, we will put out a statement when this is ready, as soon as possible. We'll be meeting on it today, this afternoon, and tomorrow to get this hopefully up and running, and hopefully we can get you something soon on a start date.
Sounds good.
I know we're in the process of getting the application developed as we speak, so it's just a matter of getting someone in a position to implement the program.
So it says up to 1,000, so it's gonna be 1,000?
It's up, it says up to 1,000. I would just say 1,000.
All right. So if, say if somebody says, I only need 600, just give them 1,000 anyway, or 600?
Well, if they only want 600, then that's fine.
But then
Some
that's it.
people may not want to apply because it hasn't impacted them. You know, that's up to the individual.
But then that's it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, I think that would be it then. Okay,
We're ready?
okay.
Yep,
Yeah.
Do we, wait now, do we have a motion to approve the Citizens Care Act
yep.
resolution?
Move.
Made by Chief, second by Shane. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Darren? No. Silent, wait, no, silent motion carried. Go ahead, question? No. No. No, Darren Langren's question was, will it impact their income? And any corona relief funds are not counted as income.
Will that be put on a check, whatever, like a coronavirus?
We'll have something with legal drafted, so. Put in with the applicant. Yeah, put in when they get the check. Something that they can have in their hands. Okay? Any other questions? If not, I'll call for a motion to adjourn.
Yep.
Made by Chief, is there a second?
By Connor.
Seconded by Shane. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Silent? Motion carried.
Thank you,
everybody. Miigwech, chi miigwech, and stay safe and have a good day and stay cool.